Aloha and Tashi Delay from Quiet Tibetan Buddhist Dharma Center here on the island of Kauai in Hawaii. We present this class every Thursday night, 6 to 8 o'clock, and Zoom it worldwide. For Vajra brothers and sisters in other time zones, I'm Lama Tashi. We present these classes so that people can understand the true nature of their awareness, their consciousness. Everybody has awareness, but most humans only are aware of their condition, their drama mind, and complete with the conflicting emotions, are aware of their constant involvement with pain and suffering and pleasure and happiness. And since the nature of their mind is involved with these conflicting emotional programs, there's a constant distortion between these two extremes of the drama mind producing unhealthy circumstances that lead to pain and suffering, and not connecting to their natural state of awareness, which produces an end to pain and suffering. So what is the Tibetan Buddhist tradition all about? It's about healing, and only about healing. This healing program has two purposes. The symptomatic appearance of disease and the cause of disease. Now, all outer forms treating the body were symptomatic forms of medicine, can bring some relief or happiness, but because it's only treating the symptoms, that those states of good health and so forth are not lasting. So we attempt to treat the cause of the conflicting emotions, which are the cause not only of the outer systemic dysfunctions of the body, but also the mental health of the conflicting emotional programs which produce those disease, plural, diseases. So what to do? Well, first of all, we establish the fact that there's no such thing as separation. That samsara and nirvana are interconnected. And through this interconnection, there is another interconnection between the mental conflicting emotions based on the habit of the judgmental nature of our awareness or thoughts, and to a situation existing in our consciousness already where there is none of that, where there is no judgment. So we say we have two minds or two states of truth. The judgmental mind, which interacting with the thoughts produces the conflicting emotions of attachment, aversion, pride, jealousy, anger, hatred, and so forth. And the other nature of your mind, which doesn't do that, the non-judgmental. And we call that, those two states, the relative and ultimate states of awareness or truth. Now, in reality, both exist. but they don't coexist. So the purpose of the Tibetan practices presented by all the lamas of the Tibetan tradition, Buddhist tradition, are essentially coming to the same conclusion that the only way to reach this other state of higher intelligence called Buddhahood is to slowly and deliberately, with the guidance of a Lama, one is to train their mind to delete the judgmental function and the negative tendencies that accomplish that, which produce the pain and suffering, and slowly move the consciousness into a state of awareness that is, we say, natural, in tune with the natural world around it. Because this universe doesn't judge us. It is completely natural and appropriate in its support system to bring life into existence and support it. And that is the same everywhere in the universe, applied to sentient beings, to all the animals and all the humans and spirits throughout this entire universe. So we take refuge and engender the thought that everything we do by taking refuge and training in the Bodhisattva tradition to become mature human beings called Buddhas is based on the motivation that all of this is for everyone else. And since there's no such no such thing as separation, of course, the practitioner receives the benefit of just that motivation. I'll read it to you. Some of you have this refuge sheet and the other practices on the back. But at the top of the refuge sheet, it says, in order to benefit myself and attain enlightenment for limited sentient beings, our mothers, we now all together take refuge and offer practices that support inner guidance. We call it the path of skillful means. And since the Tibetan and Sanskrit language of how to do this is the universal way that all of these practices are transmitted to all the tribes of the planet, I'm going to read it in Sanskrit. Dam dam jovanam ke tadam yam te sem shem tam she udine shute chi si jen shu mingpo da chi ki bardu. Then the refuge of the support of the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, all Buddhists use that. But in Tibetan Buddhism, we add the guidance of the Lama using peaceful and protector deities called yidams as part of this support. We go for refuge to all the glorious holy Lama. We go for refuge to all the yidams, who are the deities and symbols gathered in our mandala. we go for refuge to all the Buddhas, those who have conquered their mind and gone beyond. We go for refuge to all this supreme Dharma. And the sixth one is we go for refuge to all the Dakinis and Dakinis, who are the protectors and defenders of Dharma. All of these possess the eyes of transcending awareness, which is timeless. Then we chant that prayer in Sanskrit for the benefit of the spirits in and around ourselves. Palden Lama Dampa Nam La Chapsu Chio Yedam Chokor Gilatso Nam La Chapsu Chio Sanjay Cho Dende Nam La Chapsu Chio Dampe Chur Nam La Chapsu Chio Talpe Gandu Nam La Chapsu Chio Tawo Kanjo Chokyong Sume Sho Yesheki Shendong Dempa Nam La Chapsu Chio. That ending phrase, Nam La Chapsu Chio, attached to each line of the 6 refuge supports, simply means we all together go for refuge to each of these 6 to support not only our Dharma practice, but to generate the benefit of healing to limitless sentient beings. The third aspect of taking refuge is Bodhisattva training. It is called bodhicitta, engendering bodhicitta, which simply means having concern for the well-being of all animals, humans, and spirits in the entire universe. And this generation interest in their well-being is altruistic compassion activated with the 6 bodhisattva disciplines called the 6 perfections. And it goes like this. Through the Buddha, Dharma, and this Supreme Assembly, we go for refuge until enlightenment. May I, through merit, gain from practicing the 6 bodhisattva discipline, called the 6 perfections, accomplish Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. In Sanskrit, Sanjay Chodam Shoki Chodam Chenshu Bardu Dagni Chapsuchi Dagi Jenso Shi Pe Sonaki Chola Pencher Sanjay Drupa Sho. The 6 bodhisattva disciplines practiced together with sutra and tantra training and as the guidance of the body, speech, and mind of the teacher, start with generosity. Now, at this time of year, that generosity is called the holiday, or used to be called the holy days. But the practice of generosity, which we engage with at Christmas, is a 24/7 practice. In other words, generosity is not only the giving of physical support, but also the ultimate support of guidance that would cause one to be liberated from these occupational states of pain and suffering. And in the process, not only having them disappear, but also to establish one's state of being as useful to everybody and the environment of the world around it. And that is a state of maturity only gained in the human condition. Animals and spirits can't do that. So the human condition is the most favorable of the 6 types of cyclic rebirth. Then you have the second bodhisattva practice of morality combined with ethics and good manner. And that is also presented both on the relative and ultimate level of the 2 natures of your awareness. The third one, patience, is for your own situation and attaining liberation from this unfavorable state. But it's also to liberate infinite human beings and alleviate their pain and suffering in the process so that they too can liberate themselves. Patience. Number 4 is diligence and perseverance in the first of these 3 practices. And then also applied to meditative accomplishment. Single-pointed concentration is called meditation, but in Tibetan Buddhism, it's more than that. It's more than the ability to focus. It's how to use your imagination powerfully to accomplish the appropriate changes in yourself and in the world around you and the beings in it. And these first 5 spontaneously move your awareness away from the unhealthy predispositions of our tendencies, negative tendencies, into higher states of intelligent awareness. And there's no ceiling to that. There's no ultimate goal. Everything is the way it is, and you treat it that way, the way it is. And in the process, healing takes place, liberation from pain and suffering takes place, and bliss or joy in being in the human condition is activated. Then when the body finally fails, and the 5 elements dissipate one into the other, you move from this human condition into the next life. And since you don't know what comes first, the next life or the next breath, you have to practice now. So these 6 bodhisattva trainings, with the path of skillful means of the sutra and tantra teachings of the lamas in practice, are the way to go. And they work effectively for anyone who uses this program. Now, in this world, which our human body is connecting to, we were created by our mother out of 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, and space. And she did this starting with the space element as a place to take birth in her body. Then she generated through her body the water element, the fire or earth element, the air element, and through these 4 elements, earth, water, fire, and air, and the generosity of her body, you take birth in the human condition. At the same time, the mother was generating a state of unconditional love for you to obtain this precious human birth. And the first condition of that was love itself, but not the love we associate with ourselves and everyone around it, but an unconditional state of love similar to the mother for her only child. And that activates a state of awareness called the 5 Buddha family. And the word Buddha means maturity in the human condition. And these 5 states are connected with the 5 elements. They're inseparable. You can't have a body without these being already innate in what? Your awareness. That mental factor of your mind that knows. Knowledge, understanding. And these 5 flavors, the water element activates the flavor of mirror-like wisdom, that everything is interconnected to you and there is no such thing as separation. Then it activates this training program of putting that situation into activity with the guidance of a Lama in Bodhisattva training school. Then lack of awareness or understanding, ignorance, and dullness are replaced with knowingness, that everything is illusory, that the energy of this universe, light in space, is the nature of everything, including your mental state of awareness, called the thought or thinking. The 4th one is evenness. There's no such thing as superior or inferior. It's a level playing field. We're all in it. We all have the same unhealthy situation. And this is the antidote. It takes away that idea of superior or inferior, good or bad. And finally, your own discerning awareness is the 5th element of the fire energy, which is the warmth of the world around you, sustaining you in your body and your mental consciousness. And this state of the fire element or light is discerning that drama or conflicting emotions or judgment doesn't work. Not favorable. Unhealthy. It discerns that. And then because it's intelligent, it discerns that there is a state of awareness innate in our minds and our consciousness that doesn't do that. It doesn't produce that. So these 5 wisdom families or states of awareness are the antidote to anger, jealousy, ignorance, pride, and believe it or not, attachment and desire. That's the fire one. Because it takes that kind of energy to burn that kind of inclination, mental affliction away. So now we're going to practice the meditation, first of all, using the 5 elements. And then we'll move from that to using the taras as the higher states of intelligence activated by the 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, and space. To do that, you have to learn to meditate and use your imagination. And you should let that sink in, because that is Tibetan Buddhist method of accomplishing quickly the appropriate outcome or situation. And this was all put in place 2,600 years ago by Shakyamuni Buddha. Practiced extensively in India and transferred through the teachers called Mahasiddhis to the lamas of Tibet. And once established in Tibet, it replaced the old shamanistic traditions that use harmful methods to produce results of survival in that intensely dry and cold area of the world, so that the humans and animals could be not only safe there, but comfortable. And then from there, because that worked, starting in that all started to take place in the 6th, 7th, and 8th century. Then from there down to 1950, it survived, and then in 1950, the Chinese came in and tried to shut it all down, forcing the teachers to leave and go to other places on the planet. Lucky for us. So let's meditate. Sit with your back straight, comfortable in a chair or on a cushion to start with. Head slightly tilted forward, lining up the energy centers of the central channel of your life force. mouth closed, eyes gaze to a space 2 feet directly in front of your eyes. Then relax your gaze, but don't close your eyes entirely. With the mouth closed, breathe if you can through your nose. And by focusing on your breath, imagine that the air that you are taking in is the color of white light. And the energy of the white light pervades your lungs as the 5 elements. Which are carried by the air. Then you imagine that the energy of the 5 elements accompanies the middle breath, the absorption breath, to every cell in your body. It does that spontaneously. But now you are focusing on it, imagining it at the same time. In keeping this focus and imagination of the white light coming in and the red light pervading your body with energy, you take these 2 codes and exhale blue light out your nose to space, thinking it to be a universal healing breath for everyone in space. Inhale white light, fill your lung. Absorption breath is visualized as red light flashing through your body. These 2 together exhaled as blue light out your nose into space. Visualized as the sky, the blue sky. Practicing this 3 light breathing method, which all the lamas teach and use for many practical purposes, slowly you start to improve the quality of the exhale. And inside, a feeling of warmth starts to pervade your physical body. When you reach this state, peace and tranquility also start to pervade your mental consciousness. Then it is recommended that you take the 3 lights breathing to heart by counting 21 breaths, 3 light breaths. So now we'll do that. Inhale white light, red light pervading, blue light exhale, 1 breath. Again, 21 times. When you reach the 21st breath, take your focus off the breath, and with your imagination, bring the three colors, white, red, and blue, into a tiny particle of light, and think of it to be centered in the middle of your body, in the chest, creating the heart chakra, Bindu, called the Tigli in Tibetan. When you can see that point of light in the center of your chest, in the central channel of your life force, know that at that moment, it instantly connects with the infinite light of boundless space, the energy of our universe as space. For a few moments, no meditation, simply be present and contemplate the space element, the mother element of space. And by doing that, you will know that the nature of your consciousness is all pervading. In Tibetan, they use the term the all ground of samsara and nirvana is this mother element. Then focusing on the particle in your heart center, visualize it, imagine it to grow into a tiny sphere of clear light, like a small bubble. Then imagine this three-dimensional bubble of clear light grows in size to one of the five elements which you choose that you need for healing in your physical situation. I'm going to choose the half sphere of green light, which is the symbol for the air element, which generates life-supporting energy in your human body. And think of it or visualize it about the size of your thumbnail in the center of your heart chakra. And this green light half sphere is labeled air. All five elements are at work in healing your body, but the air element is stressed or activated to take care of certain ailments connected with breathing and so forth. Now your body is visualized inside this half sphere of green light to receive the full healing energy of these elements, like in a large room. And the half sphere has a lid. Then, because we are in Bodhisattva training, we share this energy program of healing with the world around us and the beings in it by imagining it to grow inside to completely encompass an area 50 miles in diameter, making it available to the sentient beings in that area. Here in Hawaii, we imagine the island of Kauai and surrounding area inside the half sphere of green light. Then we expanded its size to completely enclose Mother Earth, including her air atmosphere. Then moving outward, we expanded in size to completely enclose our solar system, extending it in size billions of miles in every direction. The next step expanded in size to completely enclose our spiral disc-shaped galaxy. A mere 100,000 light years in diameter. Then move beyond the boundaries of your conceptual mind and merge it with boundless space. No center, no circumference, just space. Relax and be present. Contemplating space. Then we'll move again by inventing the half sphere of green light to completely enclose the galaxy. Reduce it in size to just enclosing the solar system. Smaller to just enclosing Mother Earth. Then smaller yet, just enclosing the city, town, island, or a large area of where you're doing this practice. Then condense all that into the half sphere of green light, just enclosing your physical form. Just as you are, sitting, standing, laying down, moving. Then when you can feel the results of this taking place in your situation, finish the practice by bringing your awareness to in front of your eyes. Seeing the small sphere, half sphere of light about the size of your thumbnail. Reduce it or drop it to chest level and into your heart chakra. And reduce it to the size of a tiny particle of light. And again, relax, contemplating the infinite light of boundless space. Be present, relax, and comfortable in this dimension of your being. Then bring this developing state of awareness to in front of your eyes and spread it into your area of influence and dedicate the virtue, we say the merit of this practice, to benefit countless sentient beings. Our family. This afternoon we had a class on this subject of the 5 elements healing. Presented through our Sangha in Canada, and zoomed to whoever is interested around the planet. But the main question of the many questions that we answered in that class was what happens at the moment you leave your body or at the time of your death of the body. And that's a good question, because this meditation practice of the 5 elements is the practice that if you're not leaving the body all at once or suddenly, or when you're asleep or unconscious, then the 5 elements practice is in place by, first of all, when you lose the ability to eat, you can focus all your energy on the earth element. Then when you can't drink water, which is the second stage of leaving the body, then you put all your energy on the blue sphere of the water element. Then when all that dissolves into the state of the fire energy being uncontrollable, extreme heat and cold occurring, you focus on the pyramid, the 4-sided red pyramid as the fire energy. And with these dissolving one into the other, finally, the half sphere of green light absorbs the fire energy and you can no longer breathe. Then it disappears into the space element. And that's exactly where you want to be in the transition from this life to the next. Because that is the reality of that situation. And that is the mother element. So you're like the child meeting the mother. Relax, be present, and aware. I like to use the term alert. And that's one of the real benefits of this 5 elements healing program, that it can not only be used to support life as you are in this situation, this state of existence, but also in the next life. Now we're going to do the practice of the 5 elements as the deity Tara in all of her flavors. And these 5 elements, from the time of Tai Chi Quan and 5,000 years ago in China, Kuan Yin, down to the present day of these practices alive in the Western world. For instance, my teacher was Lily Su, a doctor of Chinese and American medicine in Honolulu. And when I received this training, she said, "This is symptomatic, but it is also protective." And she demonstrated that by the Tai Chi tradition of using the energy of the 5 elements in martial arts, athletic program. And her final advice to me after a long period of practice and training was to get out of the city and move to the country. Go to Maui. Get out of Honolulu, go to Maui. And by doing that, I trained in the breathing practice of the yogi, using a manual called The Autobiography of a Yogi, Hindu tradition, and found out that yes, I could focus, I could meditate, but I still had mental complications, emotional, unstable programming, conflicting energy. And as my karma would have it, I then became a farmer on Maui and met with Kala Rinpoche, who trained in the element Tara. Now, the Tara practice uses all 5 Buddha families as the crown energy of the deity. And he taught me to be the green Tara. I thought it was because I was a gardener and a farmer and so involved with the plant world and the jungles and so forth around us on the island. But later I found out that that is the color code to compensate for the terrible affliction of jealousy, coveting, envy, and all the other unflavored, savory flavoring. And the way it was to be the Tara. The way he presented it is you need to create and convert the way you think of your human body, the way you are experiencing, into a rainbow body of this deity. And when he did that, he gave the instruction of the seed syllable being Tom, which is a sound that includes all of the vibrations of the 5 elements as the deity, and becomes what is called the creation sound of the mandala of the deity applied to limitless sentient beings, and it includes the whole universe, not just your one physical situation. And that sound is green in color, and when imagined, it is about the size of your thumbnail in a 5-color sphere of light in the center of your chest. When you activate the Tom, the Tara appears as the mind, body, speech, and mind of the Lama, because the Lama is also Tara and is doing the practice of this rainbow body deity, complete with this seed syllable Tom and her mantra Om Tara Tutari Ture Soha. And he says, when you vibrate, sound the Tom and say it in your heart, it connects the energy of all the teachers and humans that practice being the rainbow body of Tara with their mantra. Then you see yourself as this green Tara wearing a kata, which is the way we express honor in Tibetan Buddhism, dressed in silks and jewels, sitting on a lotus, 32-petal lotus with the sun and moon seat as a symbol of taking birth, that this only works in the human condition. Surrounded by a moonlight sphere of energy, lighting up the darkness, and many other types of Tara surrounding her in various color codes, and the Buddha of boundless light, Amitabha, which is the representation of the infinite light of the universe, as your natural mind, as her teacher. And then around this Tara are also Dakini Taras standing of the 5 elements. And they are placed directionally. These peaceful ones are around you like spiral-shaped mandala in the 4 directions. But the standing Taras of the 5 elements are placed in the 4 directions. And the central one, which you are, is green colored. She is standing on her body as support on a sun and moon disk and has a lay of human heads hanging from her neck and dressed in bone ornaments, and she carries a knife called a trigu and a skull cup of wisdom energy, which symbolizes the transition of your drama mind to your wisdom nature. Many flowers decorate around her, and she's in a worldly situation with clouds, sun, moon. But on her left ear, she's holding the stem of a flower, which symbolizes loving kindness. And off of her right ear, a flower, a red flower, symbolizing the discerning awareness of your wisdom nature. These two together are the force or power of the deity. And as I said before, the 5 wisdom natures are activated with the 5 jewel crown on her head, and her head is adorned by the light of Amitabha as a red halo. Now, all of this, when you can start to see any part of this rainbow body in your imagination, is presented as your mother sitting in front of you as a mirror image of you being this green Tara, 2-armed, in all of the ways I just described. And when you can see your mother in front of Tara, then you project that rainbow body image to your father, friends, relatives, lovers, pets, everybody you have karma with. Then you build this mandala by projecting it to 8 billion humans which inhabit the planet today. All the animals in the ocean and on the land as Tara. And throughout the universe, all of the spirit worlds. By creating this mandala and applying it to limitless sentient beings, the mantra appears around the tom in your heart center, starting with Om in front, Om Tara, Tu Tare, Tu Re, Soha, 10 letters. And when those mantras appear, the 5 Buddha families are activated with the seed syllable tom in the middle. Sound the mantra, visualize the seed syllable tom, and the deity applied to you, your mother, and limitless animals, humans, and spirit, here and everywhere. And you do this in your mind. You imagine it. And the imagination is the activating force of having it actually take place in the outer world that your body is connected to, your physical body. It starts to manifest. Om Tara, Tu Tare, Tu Re, Soha, Om Tara, Tu Tare, Tu Re, Soha. Om Tara. Tutare. Ture. Soha. Your body, speech, and mind become the body, speech, and mind of the deity. And this rainbow body of the mother principle of energy is applied as wisdom, higher states of intelligence, and she herself has 21 applications of this higher state of intelligence. And around her in the four directions and above her head are the dakinis that activate what you are imagining to take place in the physical world where you live. Those five dakinis are the five elements, infinitely applied to this infinite universe and the infinite number of sentient beings inhabiting the universe. And the vibration of the mantra of your voice is not only to give advice, but to help this appear in this outer reality, not just in your imagination, not in just as an antidote to your mental process. And also to take the energy of the five major conflicting emotions and establish these five families in this outer reality. Green Tara has her standing green Tara above her head. In front of her is a standing blue Tara. To her right to her left is a gold Tara. Behind her is a red Tara. And to the northern direction is another green Tara. Now these five dakinis are also in a mandala of 21 aspects of Tara as 21 qualities that are being activated in your situation. And when we teach this to women that do the Tara dance here on Kauai, this is the manual they use to accomplish that mandala in dance form. But for us, Om Tara, Tu Tare, Tu Re Soha. Be the mother of all sentient beings. Om Tara, Tu Tare, Tu Re Soha. Unconditional loving kindness coming from your heart is the energy program of this entire mandala of the Tara. Om Tara, Tu Tare, Tu Re Soha. Now, because of that, the application, the mantra with the sound of your voice starts to turn counterclockwise and move that way around the seed syllable tom. As this takes place, the energy from the tom and the mantra pass through your body and exit out as healing energy to all the beings in and around you, in space, in your vicinity. And every Tara in your mandala, whether peaceful sitting or the protectors one standing in the four directions of the one above your head, are the movement. That's why we use the green Tara as like the air element is always moving, energy moving. Having heard the words of how to visualize this mandala, how to activate the tom and the mandala, say the mantra 108 times in a formal practice. And to help with that, we use malas made of wood or bone or precious or semi-precious stone, which have 108 beads strung and one extra bead representing the teacher, the guru. 100 of these are the 100 different forms of Tara in practice. 5 of them are the 5 Buddha families and the 5 elements together. And the last 3 are your body, speech, and mind doing this. With the motivation that it benefits everybody and your environment in present time. Om Tara Tu Tare, Tu Re Soha. 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 Om Tara Tu Tare. This one is behind you. We say in the western direction. Om Tara Tu Tare, Tu Re Soha. 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 Om Tara, Tutare, Ture Soha. So tonight we'll energize these four protective Dakini standing taras by adding to the sound of the mantra Hara Nisa Siddhi Za. Om Tara, Tutare, Ture, Hara Nisa Siddhi Za. Om Tara, Tutare, Ture, Soha, Hara Nisa Siddhi Za. Om Tara, Tutare, Ture, Soha, Aranisa, 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 Siddhi Za. Om Tara, Tutare, Ture, Soha, Arani, Siddhi Za. Om Tara, Tutare, Ture, Soha, Aranisa, Siddhi Za. Om Tara, Tutare, Ture, Aranisa, Siddhi Za. Om Tara, Tutare, Ture, Soha, 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 Aranisa, Siddhi Za. Ar, Ra, Ni, Sa, Za. Ar, Ra, behind you, Ni, Sa, Siddhi Za. So Ar, Ra, Nisa. Ar is the blue standing in front. Ra is the gold one to the left. Ra is the red one behind you. Ni is the green one to your right. Siddhi Za means magnetized in infinite numbers in each direction as a Dakini Buddha field. They are activating the 5 Buddha antidotes to the 5 emotional afflictions. The main part of the Tara Mantra is removing all obstacles and extending this everywhere into every worldly situation, from heaven to hell and in between. Om Tara Tutare Turi Soha Hara Nisa Siddhi Za. Om Tara Tutare Turi Soha Hara Nisa Siddhi Za. Om Tara Tutare Turi Hara Nisa Siddhi Za. Om Tara Tutare Turi Hara Nisa Siddhi Za. Om Tara Tutare Turi Soha Arani Siddhi Za. Om Tara Tutare Turi Arani Siddhi Za. Om Tara Tutare Turi Soha Arani Siddhi Za. Om Tara Tutare Turi Soha means everyone is the Tara. as a state of timeless awareness of the energy of the 5 Buddha families and the 5 elements in both realities, the outer world and the inner world of conscious awareness. Om Tara, Chutare, Chure. So Harani Sasidiza, 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 Om Tara, Chutare, Chure. So Harini Sasidiza Om Tara Chutare. Ture means swiftly accomplishing. That all obstacles and conflicting emotions are dissipated or transformed into their antidote in present time. Om Tara Chutare Ture. So Harini Sasidiza Om Tara Chutare Ture. So Harani 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 Sasidiza Om Tara Chutare Ture. Harani Sasidiza. Now I pick up the Dorje, which is a symbol of the 5 elements and the 5 wisdom Buddha families, spontaneously projected in present time. Then I use the bell in union with the Dorje to call the energy of the Dakini. So Harani says it is Om Tara Chutare Ture. Harani says it is Om Tara Chutare Ture. So Harani says it is Om Tara Chutare Ture. So Harani says it is Om Tara Chutare Ture. So Harani says it is Om Tara Chutare Ture. So Harani Sasidiza 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 Om Tara Chutare Ture. 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 Harani says it is Om Tara Tutari Turi Soa Harani says it is Om Tara Tutari Turi Soa Harani says it is Om Tara Tutari Turi Soa Harani says it is Om Tara Tutari Turi Harani says it is Om Tara Tutari Turi Harani says it is Om Tara Tutari so 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 Harani says it is activating the Tara is activating infinite sentient beings everywhere in the universe to be the Tara. That's the mandala. The activators are the peaceful Taras as the protector standing Dakinis doing it. What are they doing? They're activating the 5 Buddha energy fields in everybody's situation. And every Tara in your mandala is doing exactly the same thing that you are with the sound of the mantra. At the end of the session, no matter how many mantras you've sounded, 3, 7, 21, 108, 1,000, whatever, imagine the 5 Dakinis entering into the Tom in your heart center. Then imagine all the peaceful Taras as all sentient beings streaming into you from every direction. You, the central green Tara, 2 arms. Then you, as the central Tara, disappear into the mantra circling the Tom. Om Tara, Tutari, Ture Soa. Hara, Nisa, Siddhi, Za. All of those syllables, one by one, each one a different color, like jewels, disappear into the Tom. The Tom, in a sphere of 5-colored light, which symbolizes the energy of the Dakini, contracts to a tiny particle of light and merges into the mother element, space. No meditation. Simply sit relaxed, peaceful, watching your thought, not adding anything or taking anything away. clear of judgment, open to the energy and vibrations of the entire universe, in a timeless state of vivid awareness called the present. When you've completed the second part of the deity yoga, which is called the accomplishment stage, understand that the first part of practice, the creation stage with the mantra and the visualization of the deities, however it is presented, by reciting the mantra and doing that, you purify negative karma and tendencies from this and previous lives. By establishing the state of presence through the practice. In the accomplishment stage of the practice, where the mind rests in voidness equal to the totality of space, the thoughts themselves arise from space, show themselves as light, and disappear back into space. Without you judging them at all. Just allow that mental process to evolve naturally and dissipate naturally. And the judgmental mind will disappear and the conflicting emotions will be purified by that part of the practice. And then your future karma will be okay. When establishing this state of presence, called Mahamudra, or the Great View, or the Great Seal, or the Great Perfection, or the Great Middle, Madhyamaka, whatever terminology is used, it's how to be in the human condition and in the next life, in the bardo of becoming, to establish this in future lives. And you learn to rest and rest more and more with your worldly activities that way. And one of the assistant training program methods is called Tonglen. And how to do this and use it in life, dying, and the next life evolved from the teacher Lama Tai Situ Rinpoche with his book called The Way to Go, which you can get used copies of from Amazon. But the simplicity of the practice is simply to remove all judgment by meditating that with your inhale, all obscurations, all negative energy of the outer world of conditioned existence comes into your heart center as black light, instantly disappears. And at that moment of disappearance, white light is your exhale out to all the beings in the universe as loving kindness. Inhale the negative of any situation as black light. With your inhale into your heart center disappears. And immediately the white light of loving kindness exhale to limitless sentient beings inhabiting boundless space. You can apply this taking and sending practice individually to purify or heal others, or collectively whole groups or whole situations of negative, harmful, inappropriate activity. Breathe. Inhale white, inhale black light, disappear it. Whatever comes in. Instantly white light, exhale, everything okay. Do that. Meditate like that. Do this without any judgment of the inhale or the exhale. And to finish tonight's class, we dedicate the virtue of this, the energy, the healing energy, to the benefit of limitless sentient beings in our mandalas, in our universe, that they all reach the same level of accomplishment of higher intelligence than we are, especially in the human condition on this planet. Kewadi Nurdu Da Chagya Chapo Jugurni Chowa Chinking Mahupa Yei Sala Goparsho Sanjay Kusu Nempa Jimada Choni Megur Nempa Jimada Gandu Miche Dumpa Jimlaki Chitar Goma Mon Long Drew Parsho. By this virtue, having realized Mahamudra, may we quickly establish limitless sentient beings in that state. By the blessings of the three bodies of the Buddha being accomplished, by the blessing of the truth of this Dharma being unchanging, and by the blessing of the wishes of the Sangha, that's us, being unwavering, may this dedication prayer be fulfilled. May all beings have happiness, and the cause of happiness be away from suffering and the cause of suffering, and through our practice establishing bliss and states of equanimity, free of fear and hope, praise and blame, disgrace and fame, and attachment, aversion, pride, jealousy, and ignorance. May all the lamas have long life, good health, happiness, and prosperity, and may all their wishes be fulfilled. Aloha from Hawaii and mahalo. Duchite, thank you.
Thank you, Lama Tashi.
Thank you.
Happy